are probably my friends, but you know.
Okay, we're on. We're back up again.
Excellent.
Are we on the
What
live
did Dimitri
YouTube?
do this time?
No, you know what I was
We're
doing?
not-
I was nervously I had the USB cord in my hand.
Fidgeting?
It was
Fidgeting.
Yeah.
Can you initiate the YouTube? I don't see that yet.
No, it's
Fidgeting
coming.
like
We're
a
back.
young boy with his hands in his
We're back.
pants.
I got everything back. It'll come
All
up.
right.
It'll come up.
Okay. I trust it.
We're trusting. I want a wolf hybrid, 99% wolf hybrid.
I don't, so that's a no.
Oh, they're just, if you looked at this one here, you would want one.
Let me see. Is it a
Are they
puppy?
cute?
Yeah. It's called a blue wolf. Hold on, it's forcing
is
me to
that?
watch stupid commercial.
Oh, look at that guy. He's so cute.
Look at him.
That's adorable.
He's cute right
so
there.
Adorable.
Let's see what a blue wolf full grown.
Mark and I, now that we're empty nesters, we say hi to everybody's dog at the breweries. Yeah, it's like that's what we're paparazzi now.
Yeah.
You know, wait till you're there. If you like animals, it's
I
like
love it.
I'm like, we become those people. We become your parents, Mark, saying hi to every little puppy out there.
Find somebody to talk to while you're out there, you know.
Oh my God, look at these wolves, Suzanne.
Oh, look at those.
Hold on, not that. I hate these new fucking little cut shorts. Here's a blue wolf grown up.
And that's
Look at this thing.
a no. Oh, look, he's kind of like Nico with his tongue out.
Look at that thing. That is the coolest.
Send me the
Oh my
link.
gosh, we're not getting one of those.
I'm getting a blue wolf. Fuck it.
Just look at Blue Wolf on YouTube.
Blue
That's
Wolf.
where he's looking. It's like, oh my, Blue Wolf, and then they're so cute.
It's massive.
But that's not for me.
How much do they
Oh,
cost?
Tim says, Mark, I had a wolf hybrid. You don't want one.
Yeah, I do. So who are you, Tim? Who are you to tell me what I
Tim.
Tell me
want?
what's wrong with
Block them. Block them.
They're huge and they're big wolves. Let's just start there.
Eat 20 pounds of meat.
They
a
look
day.
cute.
It might eat my little mini Aussie.
They look really cute.
Wolf versus German Shepherd.
I'll take my Nico. He's just the
God, they're
coolest
beautiful.
dog
These wolves
ever.
are beautiful.
The German Shepherd is not winning. The German Shepherd has
If
left the
that's a
building.
fight, you shouldn't be watching them.
No, it's not a fight. It's more of a standoff. Like, huh?
Barbara says Mark is a bored rich guy. LOL.
Why? What does that mean? The fuck does that mean? And please define rich.
Yeah, everything.
God,
Nowadays,
that is such
there's
an
no
open
thing.
term.
Nowadays, there's no
There,
such
I
thing.
know. I couldn't wear Elon's shoe.
You couldn't afford his shoe.
I'll bet you he doesn't buy
Literally.
expensive shit. I bet you he goes
Probably
to
not.
TJ Maxx. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I bet. I bet he sends his butler to TJ Maxx.
Snipcod, Mark talked to him off the air and said, either use Mark Machowski or don't. It's your call. Like,
Well, not only that, the guy started talking about, back in 1950, he delivered audio equipment to clubs around Denver, and the people that he'd use to deliver it would always have proof of insurance. And I had to hear that 5 times. So
Oh, dear.
after the 5th time of hearing about his audio equipment from the 50s, I was done.
So he wants Mark to show him proof of
insure
insurance.
the watch.
Mark's
To
not a
insure the
transport.
watch while it's on the road.
Yeah. Okay.
He said he'd pay him
Well, it's going to cost more than $300.
a lot. Yeah.
Mark's like, if I lose the watch, I'll pay him for it. I mean,
He's probably got errors and omissions, probably, you'd think, on insurance.
yeah. It's like, and then the bottom line is art. Then don't use them. Everything makes sense. Now that Mark's explained what he does, we
Yeah,
get it.
Yeah.
Some people don't get it.
And the guy keeps telling me he's in foreclosure and needs to get money for the watch. It's like, okay. I felt like going, you know what? Then put it in that box and ship it wherever the box goes. It's like, it's that absurd. I'd never tell the guy that, but it's like, dude.
If you need money that bad, $300 isn't that big of a deal. Somebody's going to make an offer. Especially if it's worth, how much does he think it's worth? 40 grand?
I think he's saying 40 or 50. but who knows what that is? I got a jellyfish swatch. It's worth $74.
Not even.
Triggered. Every once in a while I am, but then
Did you read about this woman that was arrested for beating her kid on the airplane because the kid was calling her Miss Piggy and fat? So then she starts beating the crap out of him.
Was it her own kid?
They're not saying if it was actually her kid.
Like some other kid?
No, it was a kid with her because she took his phone away and da da da.
If my kid called somebody Miss Piggy on a fucking aircraft, I'd backhand the shit out of him.
How old was the kid?
They're not saying that either. Old enough to have a cell phone, but I don't know. Our kid was 11 when we let him have his first cell phone.
Can you imagine if your kid was on a plane or something and turned to some fat lady and started calling her fat and Miss Piggy?
No, but I think this was...
Would not do that.
Well, mine wouldn't either, and if they did, I'd throw them off the plane.
I can't imagine my kid doing that.
Yeah.
She slammed the child's head into the airplane window, hit him on the head with a water bottle, began hitting the child with her fist.
Were they in the air? Or were they departing?
Yes, when they landed, they arrested her.
Did people hear him say it?
I'm just reading the news story.
Okay.
So, it's not like I've got firsthand information.
Come on.
I'm just saying, if my kid did that, there'd be hell to pay.
They said it wasn't typical disciplinary actions. She was not correcting the child. She was abusing him.
Oh, don't get me going.
Just saying. The family
never
declined to
spanked
give a
my kid.
statement.
I did. I've whacked the shit out of him.
Oh, one time. Yeah. Oh, you're so scary.
I mean, I might have
Your
whacked
voice
him in
is
the
enough.
bottom.
That's like whacking the
Really
kid.
little.
Is it time for states to start reversing legalization led by Colorado? Join me at 4.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. What is on your mind? Well, I want to recap that previous caller. The guy, here's the bottom line, because we kind of left it hanging. He was calling about Marc Mager, which is, by the way, Mark runs a Budget A1 transmission auto repair, and he also is a, say the word. I don't know the word. Say the word, Mark. He's, or say the word, Doc.
Moniscomatico.
What?
He's a nemiscomatico. A numismatics.
Doc?
Doc? What's a coin expert? Welcome to the show.
I was checking something else. What was the question?
What is a coin expert called?
A numismatist.
There you go.
Good. See,
I was close.
Doc is such a good guy. Doc, by the way, got me hooked on Wordle. Damn it. I mean, okay. Anyway, I just want to ask something about Wordle real quick. Do you start with your favorite word every time that has a good combination of letters?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I do.
A-D-I-E-U.
I do.
It's a waste of a turn. You don't count that as a turn, Ken. That's my only beef with you. When you say you got a word in 3 tries, you don't count your first try.
Well, yes, he
Yeah,
does.
it's two more tries.
Okay,
after
then I must have misunderstood you because you're like, oh, I got that in 2 tries, and it's like, oh, you've got 4 guesses there or 3 guesses.
No, it's 2 or 3 tries after I do.
So you don't count I do as a try.
No.
See,
first, but
that's
no
my
one
issue.
does.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But no one does.
What do you mean no one does?
No one does.
What do you mean
If
no
you're
one
on
does?
Wordle and you make a first try, that's your first try. Ken uses the same word every first try, so he doesn't count that as a try.
Oh,
I got it on my second try yesterday.
But you
After I
consider
do.
that your first try.
What?
You
It's like-
consider the second line your first try.
Yeah, basically.
That's wrong.
Well,
yeah, I
That's
guess.
wrong.
I guess it is.
you could do anything with statistics.
That's just me.
I guess you guys are correct.
Yes.
All right. By the way,
Well, okay.
I digress there. So this guy calls and says, I have this expensive heirloom watch and I want to get it appraised or I want someone to buy it. And Mark, being a coin guy, we know that he has connections all over with investment metals and coins and other things. So Mark said he checked with his sources and he found a guy that he knows in Boulder. And he keeps the guy confidential because he has millions of dollars of watches. And Mark said for $300, he would take the watch and run it around. And one of them would be this guy in Boulder to see if the guy would give him a suitable offer. And this guy called us back and said he wants $300 and he won't give me proof of insurance. So, and the reason he can't give you proof of insurance is because he's not a transporter and he doesn't do this as a living. He's doing you a favor. He's saying, I'm going to take the watch. I'm going to give you a full receipt for the watch, time, date, watch, everything. You're going to pay me $300 to shop it, and I'm going to shop it. And then Mark, this guy kept saying, but even when I used to deliver sound equipment to bars around Denver, I would have to show insurance. So in a way, I know what the guy's talking about. If Mark was in the business of transporting expensive watches, you would expect him to have some kind of insurance. But
but he also said if something did happen to the watch, he'd write him a freaking check for it.
Right.
And we both know that wouldn't be any issue for Mark to do.
That's right. And so, it's if Mark lost it, but Mark said, I'm not going to lose it. I'm going to take it to be appraised. And the guy's going to make an offer. So that's it. So this guy just kept saying, I need proof of insurance. So here's what we said to the guy. If you don't feel comfortable handing the watch over to Mark with a receipt and with, his backing, if you need insurance, then don't do it. You might, there are bonded carriers you can get to do this, but the bonded carrier all he's going to do is get it to Mark. Then Mark still has to get it to this guy. So I don't think we can accomplish what you want, period. I don't think we can do it. Now, Florence, your turn. You have a question about something called a senior card?
Yes.
What is...
I see online and so forth about a healthcare spending card where it helps buy groceries and stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
Being I've seen it online, I don't really trust everything I see there. Do you know if it's legit?
I know about this if you want.
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, basically, some healthcare plans, depending on your financial means, meaning not everybody would qualify for this, depending on your income with Social Security or whatever your income is. Some of the plans allow for, say, $100 a month where you can go to Walmart or a grocery store and actually buy food. And if you don't use it that month, it'll actually continue to grow on that debit card so you can use it. But there's few plans that have it, but there definitely are some. But there is qualifications, and we do have an expert. John Sr. could explain it better than me, but we've had that question on the air in the past, 4 or 5 months. And it is interesting because I see these TV commercials all the time now.
And what do they tout, Mark?
I don't want to get booked.
They tout basically not only do you get the health care, like a plan that covers, a Medicare plan. Like an Advantage plan, but you have an Advantage plan that, for example, not only gives you a gym membership like Silver Sneakers or whatever it is, but they also give you like $100 a month for food and groceries. I would like to get John on, but I've got a question, Florence. I mean, would that $100 a month, would that really help you out big time?
Not that much. I've seen, bigger numbers than that, and I don't want to get mixed up in something. And
let's get John on just to ask it, Tom. Let's get him on, and then let me put her on hold, and then Rhonda has got a question for Gravina.
Go ahead, Rhonda.
Good afternoon.
Hi. What's happening?
Hi. Good afternoon. My dad has a home, and my dad's 84, so he's getting up there. He has a home, and he had some hail damage, and then a woodpecker came pecking at his siding, made quite a big hole. So he has been calling around to get quotes for siding, at least for that side of his house.
What kind of
He was
siding?
visited yesterday by a company. It's not metal. It's the the board, the press board kind of stuff.
Okay.
Probably old Masonite style, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to connect him with Gravina's to come out there, but I wanted to alert you that he had a company called DeBella
Yep.
that came out yesterday with a really hard sell, spent 3 hours of my dad's time, almost wouldn't leave, kept saying, we don't take no for an answer. I mean, and they quoted him $28,000 just for one side of his house.
Sounds right, yeah.
And about $75,000 to do the entire home. And it's not a big house. It's a 3-bedroom, actually a 2-bedroom.
Now, what's
but a
the name of this
basement,
company?
a fully furnished walkout basement.
DeBella.
Do they sell timeshares on the weekend? I mean, not to leave and forget about the price, but that's crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah,
DeBella.
they do baths, roofing, siding.
Yeah, and
windows,
it's a
gutters,
franchise.
So they kind of do it all, but
Have
You know
been
what?
up
She
against
brings
them
up a
before,
question, though.
Nick, have you?
Oh, yeah.
Have you been
Oh,
up
yeah.
against them before? Are they expensive?
Yeah, again, it's one of those franchise, high-pressure places, it's just... It's
How do you guys do it, Nick? I'm very curious over that because it is kind of strange when anybody, it doesn't matter if it's a roofer or window or doors or any home service, HVAC, they show up at your house, they're in your house. We know they're trained to sell. I mean, what do you guys do? Would you consider a soft sell, a medium sell, a hard sell? I mean, what's the gig?
we don't hard sell at all. I mean, there's some soft, there's some medium. Some of my guys like to just go talk with them, get some sizes, say, hey, let me get back to you. Some of my guys like to sit there, try to go over it, price them right there, but nothing's ever, we don't like being in the house longer than an hour.
Yeah, okay.
Unless they have tons and tons of questions, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like my uncle, in and out in 20 minutes usually, just like, hey, here's kind of what we can do for you, blah, 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 blah,
I like that. I like a good soft sell. Hard sells turn me off. HVAC, I've had people tried to hard sell me, and I just literally do everything but, pull a gun and get them out of my house.
Yeah, and we're more informative than we are trying to just put the hammer down. We want people to have education so they can pick the correct thing.
And Rhonda, what you'll love is they've got so many different options. They don't have just one product they're pushing.
And Rhonda, make sure you call the Gravinas on Evans.
I don't like what they said. We don't take no for an answer. So what does that exactly mean? That they'll keep going down in price until you accept it? What did they do, Rhonda?
yeah, they when they were quoting the one side for $28,000, I think it was a gentleman or a female, he got on the phone, supposedly talked to his boss, and then said, "Oh, we can drop it down to $23,000."
Oh yeah, the classic.
Then,
Let me call my manager.
Oh my God, that's like, hold on, let me go into the back room and ask the car manager if that deal's
exactly,
okay.
Exactly.
The
And there's nobody in the back
salesperson.
room.
Do you
Yeah.
know
Right.
why the salesperson was
Right.
there 3 hours?
I think because they were trying to get,
Casing
wear
the
'em down.
joint.
And
What they want.
here's
Here's what it's
but
called.
I think they were just trying to weigh him down.
They're trying to build.
What's that syndrome in war?
They're trying to build equity. They're trying to build, I don't mean equity in money, but equity in the time invested. Because what they want to do is give your father the impression, oh my God, I'm going to have to go through this a few times if I get comparisons. So they want to be the first one in. They want to exhaust the customer because they don't want the customer to look forward to another sales call. So they try to give the customer a reason to first end this hell that they're on right now, and then to discourage
It's Stockholm syndrome.
It's the what?
It's Stockholm syndrome.
Well,
they
you know,
basically
in a
are
way,
holding him captive in his own
in a
house
really funny
till they
way,
like him.
In a really funny way, that's exactly what it is. It starts out a little adversarial, not bad like mean. I mean, but it does. It's a little adversarial, meaning they're thinking yes, you're thinking no, or they're thinking maybe and you're thinking no. But here, and then what happens is they want you to identify with them after a period of time and not look forward to the other people who might have to come and compete with them. So they look for a reason then to put an end to it and make it final. And that is a really good way of putting it, Stockholm, because with Stockholm, it's about hostages identifying with the guy that took them because he's in a position of power. And then they start trying to help negotiate an out with the authorities. It's a very weird situation. But in any case, what did your dad do? He didn't bite, did he?
No, he's smart enough. He was in the roofing business in around Denver for about 30 years back in the 80s and 90s. So he's smart enough to know. They didn't sign anything. They kept saying no, but they just, I think this company really was taking advantage of the fact that
left them a bad taste.
Or elderly couple.
Hey, the other thing, Rhonda, not just for you, but for everybody listening, if your parents did get okey-doked into signing something with them, anything where they come to your house like that, you have 3 days to cancel, but you better do it in the right way. Nick, what is generally the right way? Is that like
certified mail? You have to have some type of tracking.
You got to be able to track and prove you did it.
If they'll allow you to email them, but they have to respond that they accept it. All sorts. You have to track it. But certified mail is one of the
best way.
Right, and it's usually 72 hours. And the other thing, Tom, is that usually with those type of companies, what they usually do is that salesman, if he doesn't close it that day, he may have to give it back to the company, and they might give it to somebody else, so he might lose out on that deal altogether.
Yeah, that's almost like roofers. Hey,
break when you can, buddy.
Rhonda, thanks for that. But give Rhonda, I'm going to have Nick give you a number to give her just so they can connect.
Now, we have to, by the way, they'll do you a good job at...
we got a break.
At Gravina's. John Jones Jr. will be on right after this to talk about senior cards with health coverage after this.
The riveting podcast, What Happened to Talina Czar, unravels the chilling mystery surrounding a woman's disappearance during the COVID-19 lockdown, the internet sleuths who wouldn't let it go, and the dark subcultures and betrayals that they unearthed.
There were a lot of secrets that were very hard to find.
Listen to What Happened to Talina Czar on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow What Happened to Talina Czar and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
TheArtOfGranite.com, one of the few companies that puts the prices right out there for you to compare. They'll give you prices on the phone. Now, the Art of Granite, as the name implies, works with granite, but they also work with all natural stone and man-made materials for countertops. So you can get your quote on the phone. Tell them what you're looking at. Take a picture or two. Starts with a phone call and it ends with beautiful countertops. TheArtOfGranite.com. 303-386-5919. Tear out and haul away is always free. TheArtOfGranite.com. Hey, get your air conditioner fixed or adjusted or tuned and for sure cleaned before the heat hits. People overlook ACs. They may even have their furnace cleaned and think, oh, I already took care of the AC. No. The AC has coils and condensers and blower motors and things you need to have done. And dirt is the #1 killer of ACs. Your AC will run better, last longer, and give you plenty of years of service if done the right way. Fix It 24/7 is doing this extraordinary cleaning, this deep clean for $39. Go here to the website to book. FixMyHome.com. Book now. FixMyHome.com. Book now.
They freeze your
and charge you $1,000 and then that's it.
I knew a Nick DeBella.
Yeah, I can't go number 2 anymore.
Can we try Drew again to see if he can go number 2?
Let's see if Drew's going number 2 yet.
We try him all the time. We could never get him. But
there was just a thing on Fox News.
About Drew?
No, it said 24 killed, 3 dead in Chicago.
Oh, my God.
What does that mean?
Over the weekend.
Over the weekend.
Yeah, but if 24 were killed...
Are we sure that's not
means
Denver?
Don't go to Chicago.
No, but it says 24 killed, 3 dead. There should be 24 dead.
Wait, 24
were killed, 3 dead. That's hilarious. You're
Damn,
right,
not only were they killed, but then they're dead.
3 dead.
What does that mean?
Of the 24 killed, there's 3 dead.
Okay.
I don't know.
That is stupid. That's a typo for sure.
Dead
a
from
good
different
thought, too.
accidents and not
I think it was
killed.
supposed to be 24 injured,
Right,
3 killed
right.
or dead. Who
Now,
knows?
Jack in the Box would kill
Let's hope so.
It's so greasy. It's the most terrible food, and I love it.
You know what the worst scam text is right now?
I love
the
it.
toll road ones.
Oh,
You guys have
yeah.
the toll
They're
road ones?
everywhere.
Yeah, I get
Oh,
like 3
I'm
a
sure
day.
you can find something.
terrible.
You got to give it to these scammers, though, to come up with some of these.
So greasy.
But how
and
much
good.
effort do you put in, and how much stuff
Let
do
me
you have
just-
to put
let me
out there to
just see
finally
if I
get
can-
somebody to just, you know?
I would say, like that toll road, I would guess maybe
I can
one
only
out
two,
of
probably.
2 or 3,000. You get a
Probably
list
only-
of
I wanna see if they
100,000
have their
freaking
tacos.
emails, and you have it kind of automated to go, or not emails, but
Yeah,
text,
robo text. Yeah.
and then just blast it out and sit back and see how many fish are in the net.
Classic tiny tacos.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And what's incredibly smart about it is once they pay it,
Shot.
the chances of anybody driving around here thinking they never crossed that double line is pretty much impossible. Everybody's crossed it
What
at
do you
one
want?
point. You would probably pay the $75,
Isn't it
think you
250?
did it, and never realized you got scammed.
Right, because then they have your credit card number.
Well, they might not even go that far, though, to steal the credit card number. I'm saying
Just take the money and
take the $75 from whoever you could get it to. Because if they did steal the credit card number, then people might start looking into it.
right. Yeah.
But what a scam, because you never even realized you're scammed. The best scam would be a scam where you truly have no idea you got scammed.
That's the whole point.
Yep.
Like I just got one from Western Union about $300 some odd while we're sitting here. You know, Western Union bill alert, H2O bill 306.36 plus 0 fee due.
You know what's funny is who the hell used Western Union anymore? I didn't even know they were still
I get
around.
about 3 or 4 order confirmations. Your order is on
You don't
file.
want just a snack of anything.
I don't have a PayPal
Just
account.
anything?
They keep saying your PayPal account
Okay.
has been compromised.
Yeah. You're like, where is it? You know?
Well, that's just I don't have a PayPal account. I don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Jack in the Box.
How did you know that? How did you know what I'm getting?
Because I can hear you talking.
Oh, I was out.
Is that what you're getting, Jack in the Box?
I used to love Jack in the Box tacos.
The greasier, the better.
I'm not a big fast food.
The greasier,
Well, I'm
the
talking
If I'm
better.
gonna
way
do
back when.
like a fast food burger, it's gonna be Freddy's every day.
Freddy's good stuff. I haven't had any fast food for, years, I think. I don't even like it. You know, even on road trips now, I rather stop in at a Quick Trip or something, grab some beef jerky or something compared to McDonald's or some crap.
Once in a while, we get McDonald's, like once a year.
You been to a Quick Trip?
They're freaking
Have
cool.
you seen how many iced teas some of them have? Fresh brewed iced teas, like 20 of them.
Like with the pull handle?
No, not like soda fountain. They look more like a coffee kind of
Yeah,
setup.
with the little, yeah.
Yeah,
Not a
but
bunch of bottles. Right?
fresh brewed iced tea, 20 different flavors. That is amazing.
Mark, I think I passed Quick Trip headquarters in Tulsa when I was driving to my uncle's funeral.
It's in Oklahoma.
Oh, it is? Then I did. I was like, oh, that looks like Quick Trip headquarters.
10 seconds.
Quick Trip.
Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right. So, John Jones Jr. is with Integra Insurance, and they sell health insurance of all kinds, and they help people even who have Medicare to find great supplements and drug plans. And John Jones Jr., here's what is amazing, okay? You hooked me up. I don't know what they call the plan I have. It's a Cadillac. Your dad called it slangily. But what is it really?
Plan G.
It's Plan G. Are they still available?
Yes, sir. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Now,
So there's different Medicare supplements. And the only one that's not, or I mean, the main one that's not available anymore is the Plan F, unless you turn 65 prior to January 1st of 2020.
okay. So you guys hooked me up with Plan G. This is a supplement. And then I'm going to go on to our question about the senior cards. In any case, I remember having this conversation with both Johns, John Sr., John Jr., and, never did I anticipate I was going to be a patient of major medical. In fact, John would always say, well, you're in good health. You're not going to really probably worry about this or that, but it's good to have. And I became a cancer patient, not just cancer, but the most aggressive form of cancer that happened to be 100% totally operable because of when it was discovered. And it's a miracle that in itself. But the amount of bills, I happened to sneak a peek. And John, I've not paid a penny. Not a penny. I swear to God, one time I got this statement and I thought it was telling me to pay $1,200 towards something. It was just a statement of benefit, but I took it as a bill and I sent them the money and they sent it back to me. I don't know how I did this, but I've not paid one dime, and 80% of all of my prescriptions, or 85% of them, are free. When I say free, no copay. And on the ones I do have a copay, they're $5. So, God, why doesn't everyone just do that?
A lot of times it comes down to cost. I mean, the Medicare supplement plan G, you're right, it's the Cadillac plan, and so it does come with a monthly premium. And for some people, it doesn't work financially for them. And so now in the prescription drug, that's separate. I mean, that's a separate prescription drug plan, and it could be an additional cost. I mean, some of the plans are up over $100 a month in the prescription drug plans, and so it just depends what somebody's needs are and what their finances and budget.
It's
hey, Tom, real quick.
Go ahead.
What you just mentioned, I mean, you said $1,200, but really with the surgery and the chemo and everything, I mean, what do you, give me an idea. Are we talking, you said you had to peek at it, are we talking like 100,000 or are we talking like $1 million when it's all over?
My case, Mark, with everything is near $1 million.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So, John, selling health insurance, I mean, it should sell itself. I mean, I did get overkill maybe on the monthly premium. Do you recall what my monthly premium might be around that right now for that plan G?
No, sir, I don't know right now. It'd take me some time to look it up.
Yeah, but hold on. Here's the other thing, Tom. You're bragging about it, and you should be. It's the best thing you ever had. The Medicare, but you pay for that monthly now, and like John said, some people are going to simply choose not to do that. But let's not forget, for your entire life up to age 65, you paid into that as well. So you basically paid for it your whole life. Now you're reaping the rewards.
Well, that's a good
way. That's Medicare Part A and B.
And Tom, one more thing that's affected me that a lot of people may not realize, that if you don't take the supplement the first time that you're eligible for Medicare, and then you try to switch to supplement afterwards, they can deny you based upon your medical history, but they can't do it the first time you apply. Isn't that correct, John?
Yes, sir. And that's why it's important to have a good conversation with a broker, an agent who does both, who can help people with Medicare supplements and Medicare Advantage plans to have so that you are able to make an informed decision as a consumer what's best for you based on your needs and your budget. But yeah, there's certainly it underscores the importance of something. Especially a Medicare supplement program.
I was in such good health that John put me. He said, "Let's requalify for a better plan G." And it happened to be with the same company. I don't know. They do their magic. They researched and said
it wasn't a better.
Go ahead.
It was real quick. Sorry, it wasn't a better plan G. It was just a lower premium, and you qualified at that time based on your health.
Right.
So plan G is a plan G. It just was at a lower premium to you.
Now, and I just want to say this one more time. Oh,
go ahead. My notes show.
Well,
I'm only paying a couple $100 a month for it.
Yeah. That sounds about right. And they start out typically for a male, you're typically in $140 to $170 a month in our state. It just depends where you're at. And for a female, $120 to $150 a month, depending on where in the state you're at. And that's for the Cadillac plan. I mean, that's the most comprehensive supplement option. But you do have rate increases every year, and so that does increase, and that can sometimes become a financial burden for some people.
And I just wanted to say this again to you, Tom. Think about this. I really want you to. You've got the best plan out there, but I don't want you to forget that, especially you, because you're your own employer and you take payroll tax as well. So in other words, when you pay Medicare tax, you're not paying 1.45%. You're paying 2.9 because the company's paying half and you're matching. So 2.9 over all the money you have made over the last 52 years.
Yeah.
If you do the math, man, did you pay for it.
No, I see what you're saying, Mark. I see what you're saying. So John Jones, medical cards, senior cards, Florence wants to know about them. Did Florence have a specific question? Florence?
But John, basically,
We got to take a break now.
I'll let you finish up, but she's seeing all these commercials on TV that say on certain plans, like you can get the golden sneakers, you also get money per month to go out and buy groceries. I've seen these same commercials as well.
Yeah, silver sneakers, and yeah, that comes with some Medicare Advantage plans, and a lot of times it's either based on income that you qualify for those flex cards, in many cases, or it's based on some type of chronic condition that you have that you would be eligible for those flex cards.
All right,
and so But those are for Medicare Advantage plans, and only specific Medicare Advantage plans.
Okay, now, what I'd like to do, someone asked me this, and I got to take a break. I'd like to know what I would do in my situation if I was on an Advantage plan, how it would have changed. Remember, pancreatic cancer, totally operable. I had surgery, several rounds of chemo. I'm coming out of it, thank God. And, you know, they say I'm 100% cancer free, but whether it's inoperable or operable, the bills are going to be around the same. So let's talk about exactly what would have happened if I had an Advantage plan right after this.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Over on the west end of town, I-70 eastbound, we've got a crash between Ward Road and Kipling Street. Left lane blockage with about 5 minutes of delays through the area. Otherwise, calm driving throughout the Denver Metro as we hit that midweek. I-25 north and southbound, for the most part, showing highway speeds. We are seeing some stop and go I-25 northbound just after I-270. Nothing too out of the ordinary there. Over to the east end of town, I-70 east and westbound, flowing free to and from DIA. With traffic, I'm Mark Swan.
Stay connected when it matters most. Be prepared with Rapid Radio's walkie-talkies. With instant push-to-talk and LTE nationwide coverage, you can reach family and friends in any emergency. 100% private, no contracts, no hassle.
Stay safe. Order now at rapidradios.com.
Red Rocks Roof and Solar. You're looking for solar? No, you're looking for a company that does solar. Solar, everyone has the same parts. What you want is someone who puts it all together. You want someone who knows how to install. They know about the tax benefits, and they know how to service. That's what you want. Red Rocks Roof and Solar, from beginning to end, and then helping you with service. That's what they do. And if you have a commercial operation, there are special plans to get it paid for by the government. Why don't you check them out? redrocksrs.com, 303-704-2449. I love Excel Roofing. In fact, I've said this before. I don't think I know of any companies run better than Excel, whether it's a roofer or not. Excel as an excellent. I remember years ago when I met Jay, he talked about his company that doesn't charge a cent until they're content, with no penalty clauses for people who change their minds. And he talks to each and every client. So I thought, how can you ever make a living up against all these other sharks? But he did, and he thrives. Excel Roofing, a major roofing company with a culture second to none. You don't pay a cent until you're content. That alone makes them better than 99% of everyone out there. Excel, E-X-C-E-L, excelroofing.com, 303-761-6400.
I just explained it, I thought.
Not airborne.
You know what? My God, my insurance, God almighty. Mark did point out that I paid in well, you know. No. My case, easily $1 million, easily.
Okay, well, no, this says, though, Ken, you cannot get shingles from someone, but you can catch chicken pox for someone with shingles. Is that right?
I don't believe so, but I will check it.
That's Medline Plus.
I thought they were similar.
I thought you had to have chicken pox in order to develop shingles, which I had chicken pox.
Tom Martino.
Did you have chicken pox as a kid?
Because
they jab our kids now for that. I don't know if you did that, but I went through that.
My mom, who was the sanest, most grounded person I knew, said the only time she was thinking about committing suicide when 3 out of the 4 kids had chicken pox at the same time.
Yeah.
She said
I'm
she
sure.
was ready
Chicken pox
to
sucks.
jump out of a window.
They used to have the chicken pox parties. Somebody would get it.
That's
and
gross.
Yeah.
All your friends would come over so they
Well,
could all get it and
3 of
get
your own
over
kids
with it.
have it.
Yeah. That's what I remember.
My mom got measles in her eyes when she was 6 years old. And,
Measles in her eyes?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God.
And she ended up with sheet.
Coke glasses.
Coke glasses. Woo.
Yeah, doesn't that just sound horrible?
Oh.
I'm trying. Most expensive watch I own. Someone just put that up.
Is your the starts with a T?
Yeah, Tizo.
No.
Yeah, I think it's
No, I know what it is. Watch. What is it? Luxury. It's not Tej though. It's No.
Tissot. T-I-S-S-O-T.
Tissot. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Tissot.
Tissot.
We both had a watch. I had a pink one.
And then I got my dad one. But I mean, we're still talking less than $500 for God's sake.
I don't know. I thought your watch was like $700.
It might have been. Tom had a Rolex for a while, I remember. He might still have it, actually. Do you still have a Rolex, Tom?
I had a presidential.
Is that what it's called? I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, the diamond-crusted bezel and everything, yeah. But I got rid of it years ago.
Yeah, actually.
You know why? I don't wear
I'm going to get a
watches.
Trump watch.
I don't wear watches, so it was kind of ludicrous to have anyway. And it was kind of showy. It was kind of stupid.
Wait, Tim, what it says wrong at Marc Mager and at Suze Mager? I'm missing what he says we were wrong about.
Yeah, what are we wrong about?
Oh,
Tim?
and Savvy says you can get shingles in your eyes, too. That
Yes,
is
you
bad
can.
news, Savvy.
Oh, that's horrible.
I haven't got my shingle shot yet, Tom.
How much do you think a expensive Trump watch is?
$2,000.
800 what?
What did he say?
I said $2,000.
Go ahead, Dimitri.
Mark, I'm guessing 800.
Hold on, I'm looking. I didn't realize how many they fucking had. My God. The most
I can't go number 2 anymore.
they all appear to be under $1,000.
Yep, that's it. I win.
Oh, no, here we go.
Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino here. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. John Jones Jr. I want to ask, what would have happened if I had Medicare Advantage? How would my experience be changed?
Well, many Medicare Advantage plans, you have a max out-of-pocket anywhere between $3,000 and over $7,000, and that's for in-network. And so let's start. I mean, there is your total financial, your out-of-pocket would have been much higher for your health care. Certainly, it could have been very low premium, $0 a month in premium for many of those plans, but your total out-of-pocket for health care is in the thousands of dollars on those plans. Now, you also, those plans, you're put into a network of doctors and hospitals. And so if you're on an HMO and they discovered you had cancer, well, then now you're stuck to those in-network doctors. It doesn't mean that there could be great oncologists and doctors, but that's who you need to see. You don't have the freedom like you do on your Medicare to reach out to any doctor.
Yeah, I was able to reach out. I did my due diligence with Memorial Sloan Kettering in New York, the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, and MD Anderson in Texas, and one other place, which was more of a minor one. And then UC Health I ended up with because every one of those other centers said, you're not going to do better. I mean, they love UC Health for the GI. But are you saying that I could quite possibly not have been able to go with UC Health? Or I'm not saying, by the way, for people listening, that this is a reality. But
yeah, certainly.
But
certainly, there's plenty of. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So I would have to go where they told me to.
What was in network? Now, if some of those plans do have UC Health in network. Some of them don't. Some plans there are some Medicare Advantage plans that are PPOs to give you a larger network of doctors and hospitals.
I know we are. I keep touching that cord. I got to put a guard on it.
Out of network costs, and so it cost for the healthcare and access to the.
Hey, John. John, if someone was like in an Advantage plan, let's say they had Kaiser's Advantage plan, and they find out something is really bad, cancer, something along those lines, like in October, soon as open enrollment comes, could they switch over to like what Tom has on that G at that point?
No, sir, because then you have a pre-existing condition, and so that's a declinable.
I thought Obamacare got rid of all that.
No, so that has nothing to do with Medicare. Obamacare is all under age 65. So with Medicare, if you're on an Advantage plan and you have a pre-existing condition, yes, every October 15th to December 7th, you can change your Advantage plan. You can switch to a different Advantage plan. You can find one that has, different doctors or hospitals or lower out-of-pocket costs, things like that. But if you're on an Advantage plan and you've developed a pre-existing condition like cancer, you cannot switch to a Medicare supplement at that point.
That's crazy. In fact, Suzanne's mother, what kind of surgery did she need on her Advantage plan?
She wanted to get her knees looked at or
so John,
stand.
She's in Georgia, but listen to this. On her Advantage plan, I don't know which one it was, she was 8 months out from just getting her knee looked at by a specialist.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Yeah, you have to get a referral to see a specialist on a lot of these Advantage plans, and it is a smaller network, so it could take longer to see someone, where with a supplement, you don't have to have a referral. You can make the phone call, and you can schedule the appointment. It doesn't mean you can get in immediately or right away necessarily. I mean, you get in line, I guess, but it certainly limits, the Advantage plan limits the number of doctors and facilities you have access to, so that could cause a longer wait time as well.
And one more question on that. So an Advantage plan, I don't even know how to define a normal income or normal person because I just don't understand how the system works. But an Advantage plan, total cost out of pocket, including whatever they take out of Social Security, whatever it costs you compared to the full-blown Cadillac. I mean, give me an idea. Are we talking like $50 a month versus $5,000 a month?
Mark?
Well, no. Gosh, no.
Mark, listen, for the Cadillac drug plan and the Cadillac supplement, you're going to be shocked, but it's all going to be under $300 a month difference.
Yeah, but don't they take stuff out of your check, too?
But it does depend on your area and whether you're male or female, but it's around that. And Cadillac drug plan, that's specific per person. There are a lot of drug plans, and that's where when you work with a broker or an agent like us, like me, we do that research to see which drug plan best meets your needs.
Mark brought up something I want to answer. He says, but what about the money they take out? Part A and Part B Okay, there's a certain amount of money they take out of your plan no matter what for Part B, no matter what. Or is it for Part A, John? Which one is it? They no matter what they
Part
take.
A, for most people, Part A is free. Part B comes with a monthly premium, and the base premium is $185 a month, and that comes out of Social Security, or you pay it quarterly. If you're
Is
not
that are they both income based though at that point?
They can be. You can have
But Mark,
related monthly
you don't
adjustment amount that is
get to
additional on top
save
of
that money with an Advantage plan. The Advantage plan, that's what they take to give you Advantage. That's what they take.
Yeah,
So
you pay that anyway.
you're not
pay
going to
that
save
anyway.
that.
Yes, sir.
So the net difference, I'm telling you, the net difference between the Cadillac supplement and a great drug plan and an Advantage plan is going to be about $300 max out of your pocket.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's, I pay John, I shop you guys. I mean, you guys have been our brokers forever. It's amazing to me that Tom's paying $300 to $500 a month for everything. Now, granted, I'm not on Medicare yet, but you know, Kaiser cost us $1,500 a month for two of us.
Now we got to take this break. We got more coming right up.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Over on the west end of town, I-70 eastbound, we've got a crash between Ward Road and Kipling Street. Left lane blockage with about 5 minutes of delays through the area. Otherwise, calm driving throughout the Denver Metro as we hit that midweek. I-25 north and southbound, for the most part, showing highway speeds. We are seeing some stop and go I-25 northbound just after I-270. Nothing too out of the ordinary there. Over to the east end of town, I-70 east and westbound, flowing free to and from DIA. With traffic, I'm Mark Swan.
Stay connected when it matters most. Be prepared with Rapid Radio's walkie-talkies. With instant push-to-talk and LTE nationwide coverage, you can reach family and friends in any emergency. 100% private, no contracts, no hassle.
Stay safe. Order now at rapidradios.com.
FixMyHome.com. That's why they have that website at Fix It 24/7. They want to emphasize the fixing, not the replacing. That's why you want to call them for that sump pump service. $49. What that means is they'll go and find your sump pump. Some people don't even know where it is. They'll pull the sump pump and they'll clean it, adjust it, and they'll make sure it's in great running condition. That's all for $49. Let me explain something. The sump pump is what pulls the water out from around your foundation. You need it in the sump pit, and they'll do it all for just $49. That's fixmyhome.com. Book now. Hey, you want to book now to get your hair done? I mean, the hair transplant that you hear so much about. You can get hair follicle transplants in Istanbul, Turkey. And all you have to do is go to this website, recoveryourhair.com. Now, let me explain why I'm touting these people. Because they've put together a tourism trip where you go for a weekend and have it done with a follow-up visit, and your hair starts growing the very next day. You save a ton of money by doing it in Turkey, even considering the hotel and the airfare. Plus, it's fun. Give them a call, 970-534-0676. Have some fun. Get your hair transplant. recoveryourhair.com.
Evil madness.
Oh, yeah.
Or if I'm showing off, I'll play my own pinball, my own Metallica if it's there. Try to get high school.
Monster Bash.
What was that one Jason had that was worth a fuckload? Had to do with aliens. Probably one of the most valuable pinballs I ever played. Let me look it up.
Not Attack from Mars, is it?
No, I've played that. He did have an Attack from Mars.
Because I have Attack from Mars.
That's pretty cool. They have a new one, too. Do you got the old one or the new one?
Attack from Mars?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by a new one?
Well, they got one now that's got a big screen on it, big monitor on it.
Oh, is that little mini machine one that they came out with?
I don't think it's a mini. I've only seen pictures of it, so I don't.
This one's a really
I got to remember,
like
I
it.
do
It
this
was a
by,
Williams.
I go
Like
like
medieval.
this, and I mess with this cord right here.
My Monster Bash.
Yeah, I just fidget with that plastic. I really, I'm going to put something there to say hands off or something. But it's
He
so
sold this
sensitive.
one, this guy
I can't
Jason,
believe how sensitive
to
it
this
is.
guy in Damn it, it's going to drive
This is a
me
new
crazy
computer.
now. He sold it to a guy in Australia, so imagine shipping a pinball machine to Australia, and I think he sold it for over $30,000.
Okay, this is not the
It
latest.
says
This
it's
is an M3.
likely to be the Pinball Brothers
Pinball.
Alien. Is that it, Mark?
No.
Oh, no.
I'm looking at all the different ones.
But it's a
I know, I
pretty
just
damn-
Googled it.
I'm like, Alien Pinball, worth a shit ton.
I didn't know you liked pinball, dude. We'll have to go play pinball one of these.
You guys ever been up to Lions?
You're right.
The gargantuan or whatever they call that one, or the one with
Hey, real quick, remember Jason? What was that pinball machine he sold to some dude like in New Zealand or somewhere? It was expensive as hell, something with aliens. There was only like 10 of them made or something bizarre. Yeah, but what was it called? It wasn't Attack from Mars. It's driving me nuts. I just couldn't believe he sold it for 30, 40 grand and shipped it to like Australia or something. Maybe 20 grand. I don't remember.
I mean, 30 grand.
You remember the Seinfeld episode with Froggy?
Text it to me, thanks.
With Frogger?
Yeah.
He knows what I'm talking about. He can't think of it either.
Where George is trying to get that machine across the street. Then it gets blown
I can't
up.
believe
Well,
you
it becomes a game of Frogger.
Right.
It's great. Mm-hmm. It must have been the mozzarella.
Yeah, I don't know the one that you're talking about.
And he hires the he's going to text to me in a minute. He hires the electrician that calls the outlets holes.
It's not Space Invaders, is it?
You need to keep it in the holes. No.
Oh, that's right, because he's trying to keep the top score, right? So he's trying to keep the battery on it. Yeah. That's right.
So he hires the...
Here's one that says just Alien Pinball limited version.
Let me see what it looks like.
I don't know.
It's kind of risque. I do remember it being pretty risque.
I mean, this one is like Alien, like the movies.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not that.
There's a bar by our house called Somewhere Else Brewery, and he's getting more and more. Because they got the pinball map app.
Did we go there somewhere else?
Yeah, I use that when I'm out at...
The conversation becomes difficult. Use the talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. Just tap, record, and send, all within the app.
Get out there and be heard.
To Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino here. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. To close up with John Jones Jr., what do you advise? Do you advise advantage for some? Is it ever a good idea, in your opinion?
Yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm bagging on that, and that's why we do both, because it does have its place. Medicare Advantage plans do. But what's most important as a consumer is that you understand what each are and the differences of both so that you can make an informed decision about what's best for you, and that's what we help you do.
Of course.
We're going to explain, this is a Medicare supplement, this is what it does, this is the benefits, this is maybe the downsides of it, this is a Medicare Advantage over here. They're not the same, and these are the benefits and downsides over here.
Okay, and I want to give out your number before the end of the hour. I want to give out your number, 303-466-5500, 466-5500. And real quick, somebody asked me to explain some kind of, well, I can't find it now. There was a text that said something, have him explain the IRMMA adjustment. What is that?
Yes. That's income-related monthly adjustment amount, and that's based on income. If your income levels, whether you're an individual or a couple, a household of two, are above certain levels, you would pay more for your Part D premium and for on top of your prescription drug plan costs. And so that you can just Google IRMA and you can find those charts, and it'll show you those income levels.
All right, we're out of time. We got more coming up. Our home is part of our family.
Actually stopped in there once. It is literally next door to my old shop.
Yeah, that's funny.
Parking lot over. It used to be, I'll tell you what it used to be, or right next to it is a Honda dealer or a motorcycle
Mark,
repair
that
shop.
is it. That's it. That's right next to,
Mountain Peak.
That's funny.
I think it's a pretty good deal, $20 for an hour. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been to the one up?
I was at the one downtown once.
On Colfax or by the...
I think it was in Lodo.
Yeah, okay, because there's a couple of different ones, right, Mark?
They made 191. That's why the values are.
I don't even know where Jack in the Box is located.
Insider's 108.
I can't even tell you where one is.
Yeah, it's probably what's left in the world.
Parker.
That makes a little more
Yeah, but I don't
sense
think
why
he
a
went to that
collector
one.
would pay that much
He's over on
across
East
the
Mississippi.
globe, literally.
This says 122 produced.
Slowly making his way here.
This says there's 191 remakes. Oh, his was I don't remember.
I'm gonna go and get some ginger ale.
I want to say his was numbered. I'm just going to ask him. I'm just going to text Jason. I haven't talked to him for 5 years.
Yeah, you haven't talked to him in so long.
He moved to where'd they move? Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Hey,
I am dying to remember now, Jason.
Guys, you know,
there's one for sale right now for $37K in Oakland.
Is it a remake or the original?
I don't know. It says number 151.
So that's got to be a remake because there was 14.
Because there was 14 what?
There was 14 prototypes.
Oh, like originals?
Yep.
Mark Savvy says in Fort Collins there's a place called Pinball Jones. She'll take us to next time we're her way. We just have Metallica, Tim, and Mark's best friend knows pinball machines inside and out.
Big Bang Bar. Yeah, I'll tell you, man, not many people have heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't.
This guy had some of the coolest original shit, man. Like even the old tin gun where you'd have a little, almost like a BB gun and shoot down stuff in a little enclosed area, like an original, not like a remake or anything.
Not a pinball machine.
No.
Just like an arcade machine?
Like an arcade machine.
Crazy. Yeah, it's weird that it says that there's 122 units.
Does your wife play pinball too?
Mm-hmm.
She does? She a big fan? That's cool.
Yeah, and then my kid, my son will play. My daughter,
Yeah.
here and there. If our friends come over,
That probably was the rarest machine I've ever played, honestly.
So
I've played that big sucker you're talking about. It's
the
almost
one with the 8-ball?
Yeah.
It's really slow.
Yep.
It's kind of more of a...
What's the one that looks like the old, what are they called, Pinko or...
yeah, where it goes up. I forget.
But it's huge.
Yep.
I've played that.
You ever been to the one in Aspen Park?
No.
There's a place in Aspen Park I want to go.
How about Idaho Springs? They used to have a cool arcade. Lots of pinballs. First time I ever played The Wizard of Oz with the full-blown LED thing.
The newer Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun one.
That was a fun machine, man.
What about that brewery off of Santa Fe that used to have a bunch of pinballs? I don't know when they moved into Grist. If they...
Oh, they did have quite a few. No, they didn't. Or else I'd be going there more.
Off which Santa Fe? Or which part of Santa Fe?
Right, just past 470 going towards Castle Rock.
Yeah.
It's in that industrial area there, past the landscaping.
That place that
It
sells...
used to be-
it's right behind the place that sold those little chickens.
Yeah, behind Murdoch's.
Yeah, behind Murdoch's.
It was called, they're still around, Living the Dream. But they moved to a different brewery location, and so...
So the Colorado Pinball Pub has 22, but there's a place that just opened up called Outlanes Pinball Lounge right there that has 27.
And Pindustry has a lot.
Pindustry's
Right,
got
yeah, I've
20
never been
plus.
there.
They don't have a ton of good ones, but they've got a lot of machines. In fact, what irritates me is when there's a broken machine, especially in a place like Pindustry, where they have techs running around 24/7. And I got to point out the flipper doesn't work.
Right. Yeah, there's a one up in Westminster now.
There is?
Yeah, Dan told me that.
So he's got 3 now? Or
They've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's cool.
They've got Colfax, Coors Field, basically.
Right.
Then they have over here,
Windfall
and now they have
Brewing
I thought
at
it
the
was 4.
Orchards. I would remember that name, Tim. I'm looking it up now. I don't even know where at
Mark,
the
what is
Orchards
Pindustry?
is.
Well, I see it when I go.
It's
it's
so
in
they
Westminster.
they've got like 5 or 6 real bowling alleys. Okay. On the weekends they have live music for a stage. Of course, it's a big bar. Then they've got this shit called mini bowling, which is a bunch of lanes too.
Oh, this
and then they have pinball and arcade games.
This will be up your way.
Okay.
Windfall Brewing has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean,
yeah, it's right
this was
there.
updated in March 15th. They have a shit ton of pinballs. Jaws. Mark, look at this. Windfall Brewing. It's up in Westminster, which is more up your way than my way.
I've never heard of it.
Windfall Brewery.
Good afternoon, Tom Martino.
And it looks gorgeous outside with the pretty trees.
That's that one up off Orchard. Yeah.
We've been up there.
Have you? There's a ton of them.
What do you find on pay games? Not like the 20 per hour. I'm finding now it's $2, 3 games. That seems to be the standard.
If you pay for the 3 games?
Yeah, if you shove in $2, you get 3, or it's $1 a game.
Yeah, I think it's about $1.
It's like everywhere. It's like all these pinball heads got together and said it's time to raise the price from 50 cents.
Yeah, I mean, you can, so the one by us, that Somewhere Else Brewery, I think he still has older ones for like 50 cents, some are 75, some are $1.
Funny.
Did you ever play Humpty Dumpty? You've never played it? Jason had one of those, too. Yeah. Same guy had one
Remember
of those.
he had a really old-fashioned one, Mark, from like the 40s. Remember that?
That one, that one had no flippers. Or it might have been the first one with flippers. I forget. It either had no flippers or it was one of the first ones with... Now I got to Google it.
The Colorado Pinball Club, they used to have Back to the Future. I don't know if they still have it, but...
That was a good one. How about Terminator? I used to like that one.
Yep. Johnny Mnemonic.
Oh, it says Humpty Dumpty, Mark. Was the first
with or
one.
Without flippers?
With first flippers.
Yep, there it is, 1947.
Dang.
And it revolutionized pinball by introducing...
Revolutionized.
Really, think about it.
In the 40s. I mean,
So before that, the only thing was
Okay,
you would basically
Tim,
launch the
I'll
ball
make
and
Mark
get
take
lucky.
me there, Tim.
What?
I was talking to the YouTuber. He's insisting we go to Windfall Brewing sometime.
Jason had a Humpty Dumpty. I played all these at his house. Oh, I'll tell you an old arcade game. Do you like arcade games at all?
Oh, yeah.
I loved track and field as a kid. He had a track and field. Me and him would be drinking beers and just hammering, running, and throwing the javelin.
But had the mat that you ran on? Or was it the...
I love that game.
Oh, yeah.
I love Miss Pac-Man. I love Pac-Man. I love Donkey Kong. I can turn up.
I ride the bus. Always drive the right way.
I listen to Dan Caplis.
With Dan Caplis. Afternoons at 4 on 630 K-How.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hello, Tom Martino here. This is the Troubleshooter Show. Let's get right to the phones to solve some problems, okay? You found us if you're listening, and I thank you for that. And we're all over iHeart, the radio app, if you want to find us in other parts of the country as well. So, Darren, you have an issue with a contractor. You can call us, anyone with problems, questions, or complaints, at 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. Call that 24/7. Okay, so Darren, what's going on?
Well, hi. I'm a local musician, and in the area, I do some part-time house flipping to try to get my 401k going there.
Okay.
I'm just been having problems all throughout my career of just bad contractors, and I'm kind of getting sick of it. And this latest one is kind of taking the cake, and I'm wondering if you can give me some advice.
Okay.
Basically,
let me tell you something, man.
Landscaping company.
Dealing with contractors, it's most of them. Here's what I want to tell you, what you're going to find shocking. Most of them are insufficient or terrible, and then a few of them are good, and then only very few are excellent. It's a very contracting for stuff around the house. That's what we're talking about. General contracting. It's a terrible industry. Terrible. So what's going on with your latest? Tell us about this latest situation. Okay. What kind of a contractor?
The landscaping contractor. Found him through Nextdoor. Checked the references. Checked the website. Kind of did as much due diligence as I could. So we came to an agreement, and I have a contract and an invoice saying that they would grade the yard out, plant new grass, give me a new irrigation system, 6 zones. Okay, we came up with a price.
And this is all in a contract, right?
The guy, turns out, was, well, I mean, invoice. I imagine when you have an invoice and then you pay on the invoice, it becomes a contract.
Yes, it does. Tell me what the invoice says.
Well, it says I get a new 6-zone irrigation system.
Okay, it
So
does
this guy
say that.
subs-
Good.
this guy, Andrew Mans, he's from-
So your invoice actually says a 6-zone irrigation system, and what else?
New, and it says new.
Okay.
Because I just bought the house, and it's an old house, so I figured that all the pipes under there are bad, probably 20, 30 years old. Anyway, so I hired this guy, Yard Up, Andrew Mains. He also goes by Green Man Exteriors. And I found out he's in Dallas, so he has a friend out here he hired to do the job, and that's Patrick Naughton from 5280.
Okay, what's the name of him again?
Skyview.
I want to look him up.
5280 Skyview.
Okay.
They're here out of, I think Lakewood.
Okay, what I want to know is this.
But
where's the problem?
So he hired them. The problem is they did not give me a new irrigation system. They basically tied into the old existing lines, only gave 3 zones, and when I tried to get them to come out and fix it, they didn't. One of the sprinkler zones started leaking, flooded my yard out, and in turn flooded my whole basement, which I had just redone 2 months ago.
Oh, my God.
So it's like brand new. So it's a complete nightmare. These guys will not come back and do anything.
Okay, Darren, let me explain this
just
to you.
coming up with all kinds of excuses.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. I see only one flaw in your problem. I see mostly I'm on your side with everything. I mean, this guy did you wrong. It clearly said 6 zones and you got 3. There's no getting around that. However, the part that is a little hazy is when you say you didn't get new, he tapped into the old lines, because there are many people who would have different opinions as to where the irrigation system begins. Okay. So some would say it's the lines going out to the yard with the sprinkler heads. Others will say the main line going from the inside of the house out with the muffler and all of that, or the manifold. But I want to know, because that's the least of your problems right now. What I want to know is, why did the system fail and flood?
One of the zones in the manifold, I couldn't get to turn off. One of the sprinkler heads just started going by itself, even though it was turned off manually.
Okay.
So I ended up tapping that because they wouldn't come back and fix it. And then a couple days later, I noticed that the whole yard over there was flooding.
So what does he say?
Not even thinking it would go into my house.
Let's take the easy part. It says 6 zones, you got 3. What does he say about that?
He says, well, you have good coverage, so you're fine.
Yeah, but he doesn't just get to change the whole contract.
Pan out because exactly. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, I mean, I didn't sit there and babysit this guy. I was doing all interior stuff.
All right.
I figured, he knew
Hey,
what he
Darren,
was doing.
Does he say?
I found this out.
Okay, did you pay for the whole job?
Yep.
How much?
Yeah, I was holding off, but he's saying it was $7,000 to do everything.
And you paid him everything up front?
Yes. Well, not up front. I paid him in increments because he kept crying, saying, I have to pay my guys, I have to pay my guys.
But at the end, why did you pay at the end when you only had 3 zones?
Because they said they would come back and fix it. It says warranty work on the invoice as well.
Okay. So right now, where it stands is this. Here's where it stands right now. You literally have a system that doesn't work.
It will work weekly if I go and turn every zone on by hand. He didn't even hook it into the
well, that's ridiculous.
Timer.
Okay, that's absolutely ridiculous. And you say the guy's in Texas?
Absolutely.
Well, the guy who I initially dealt with was advertising on Nextdoor as Yard Up. I didn't realize it was in Texas, but then, he admitted that later, and then he sent this other guy out that was his friend, I guess, who does 5280 landscaping.
Darren, is this guy's name
And
Patrick
neither one of
Naughton?
them are just, I'm just saying, please
Hold
come
on.
back and fix it.
Darren,
Yeah.
is the guy you're dealing with, is that Patrick Naughton?
Correct. That was the one who did the work, actually.
Yeah, so I looked up the company. I looked up 5280 Skyview. Their website has neither an address, not even a phone number. It says they do business in Denver and in Dallas, so I can totally see the Dallas, the Texas connection.
Yeah.
And then I looked him up at the Secretary of State's office. So Patrick Naughton filed the paperwork over there about 2.5 years ago to form this company. And his address is an apartment.
Okay.
It's actually an apartment in Parker. So, but the question I do have for you is, you said your basement flooded. So was that covered by his insurance or your insurance, or is it still unresolved?
It's unresolved. I mean, I just found it, and I didn't realize it probably for about a week because it's a new room I never use.
Okay. Hey, did you talk
Went
to
into
him
my music
about it?
room.
And
It's just a nightmare. I've been pulling up.
Did you?
Yeah.
And what did he
they're
say
claiming
about?
they're trying to come up with ways. I'm sorry, they're trying to come up with ways it was my fault.
Okay, so I take it you don't have like his certificate of insurance or anything?
No, I should have got that.
What about, are you
I could have
insured?
directly went to their insurance.
We need to give this
file
to
that-
someone to work on.
If you file that claim
Yeah,
on your
yeah.
insurance policy, they'll just go after him.
Yeah, they will.
So do you have insurance that will
True,
cover the damage
but
to your basement?
Do I have the 10? I do, with a $10,000 deductible.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
So Tom, now correct me if I'm wrong,
So
but my
I'm at a point now where
understanding-
I'm like throwing good money after bad.
Tom, so my insurance company explained to me when they subrogate and they go after, they also try to get my deductible back.
Of course they do.
So
yeah, they do. They do. Yes.
So Darren, that might be I guarantee this 5280 Skyview doesn't have the money to cover
I'll bet
this.
you he doesn't have a dime to his name.
And we don't even know if he has insurance. So if you make a claim on your insurance,
I know what Dimitri's saying, make a claim on your insurance and then let them go after him, and they will. But if it is only, let's say you can get it done for less than 10 grand and that's your deductible, they're not going to be that motivated to go after him. Okay. I know they're supposed to, but they're not going to be that motivated. They're more motivated when they use their own money. You got a lot of things screwed up here. This is a terrible situation. You said you did your due diligence. I'm curious about that. What kind of due diligence did you do?
Just checked out the website, got some references.
What does that mean?
Spoke to the
What does that
references.
mean, checking out the website? What does that
got
mean?
Pictures,
You read the website?
well, looking at the website, seeing if it's legit.
Well, how would you know if
seeing
it's legit?
If it's a company and they had review. That's a good question. It looked
Okay,
legit.
so you really did not do any
there was
due
reviews on the
diligence.
website.
You really did not do any due diligence. You didn't check the background of this guy in Denver. You didn't even know the other guy was in Texas. You didn't check with any past clients and talk to them.
I did. I did check with past clients. I have text from them with their job, sending me pictures of their job.
Okay, how many past clients did you check with? That's really good. How many?
3.
Okay, we would want to know. We would want to get those numbers.
I think only 2 responded.
But the 2 that responded said they had a great experience?
Oh, yeah. They sent me pictures of their job.
Okay. So right now, when was this last time you talked to them?
Probably through text, going on probably before the Memorial Day holiday.
Okay. So
and
it's
we're just going back and forth, so it's just kind of a moot point.
Did
now.
he offer anything to you?
No. They said they would come back, and the one guy, the main guy, said he would come back and plant new grass. He said he only handles the grass, 5280 handled the irrigation.
Okay. We got to get on this. We got to get someone to call. I
And
have a
5280
feeling.
5280 says we're not. Yeah.
I have a feeling you've been ripped off. I mean, there's not much I can say. This
Tom,
guy.
I'll be happy to call Patrick Naughton, but I'm not optimistic. I mean, here's a business whose website has nothing but what appears to be stock photos on it. It has neither an address, not even a phone number.
Yeah.
There's a good reason, in my opinion, that there's no phone number on the website.
That's why I wondered what he meant when he said he did his due diligence.
Oh, I've got numbers. I've got numbers, and I think that.
Do you have his number and email address? Do you have his email address by any chance? Do you have Patrick Naughton's email address?
I don't think I have an email, but I've got a number.
Okay, I'll be happy to give him a call.
Hold on a second.
Don't get your hopes up.
I thought it was on the website.
I'm going to give this to Deputy D over here to make some noise to see what we can shake up. But I think you can kiss your money goodbye. I
so appreciate it.
But maybe we can get the guy to do something.
You know, if you
that's the whole thing, and I've said that from day one. Please just come back and do the right job. That's all I want.
Actually, this is right in small claims court.
You chose the cheaper.
This is totally small claims territory.
This is small claims territory, which means you'll be able to save some money. You know, I mean, you'll be able to get like $50 filing fee. In other words, rather than regular court. And that would be worth getting a judgment against this guy to show him you're not fooling around. And I would go after the Patrick Naughton, the 5280 Skyview. And
whoever you paid it to, it sounds like the caller paid 5280 Skyview, not the Texas guy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, did you pay the local guy, Patrick
But
Naughton's company?
That's why I have the invoice.
All right, I got to take this break.
No, I paid the yard up.
Oh, really? Damn it.
Okay.
And he's in Texas?
No. Patrick Naughton is in Parker.
No, he said he paid the other guy.
He paid the Texas guy? That's not a good sign.
And how did you pay him?
Yeah.
Did you pay with a credit card by any chance?
That's a good question. I think I Zelled. Maybe.
Oh.
Worst kind of payment.
Let me look and see.
Oh, that's awful.
All right, hold on. We'll come back
and
have Deputy D take this on, make a couple phone calls, see what we can find out. 303-713-8255. Okay. Shannon, Dragon.
Jordan's on the line ready for you.
I'm
Done
going
right.
to
Go to
DRHI.com. Great cash incentives or a special financing rate of 0% APR with 48 equal monthly payments with approved credit. For details, 800-362-8370.
Let's talk to Jordan Ciano with mymoneymyway.com. And he comes bearing good news about investments as you get older in life, or if you want to sock away money that will be guaranteed to grow. Go ahead, Jordan. Tell us about the tax-free implications and the guaranteed rates.
Yes, Tom, we're talking about the Become the Banker life insurance account. You know, one of our bread and butters here, which is building money away from the banks and away from the stock market, getting guaranteed rate of returns, but you hit it right on the head there, tax-free. You can have this money, build it up tax-free, use it tax-free while you're still working. It doesn't have to be just meant like a 401k or an IRA. This money is meant to self-finance purchases and pay off debts.
In fact, I think it's a good idea for parents to do on all of their children. Explain how that worked with you.
Yeah, my father got me into this actually just like that. When I was 16 years old, I purchased my first vehicle using this program. I was able to self-finance my vehicle, pay the interest, and all that money back to myself instead of the banks. And that is where the name comes in, becoming your own banker.
Right. So what you do is you establish this tax-free account along with life insurance. But the main goal here is to work toward retirement. You can build up a pretty good nest egg because you can use this money over and over again and then pay yourself back with interest. And you can take it out tax-free as well, right?
That is correct. It's just like a Roth, but on steroids. build that money, use it while you're working, and then, of course, you hit it there as well. Use it for retirement when you're ready.
And I'll tell you what, nobody does it better than Joe and Jordan when it comes to overfunding, life insurance, cash accounts, great investments, mymoneymyway.com. They'd be happy to sit down and talk to you. 303-779-6600. That's 779-6600. Zero Res Denver. I love saying that because zero res means no residue. And they're the only carpet cleaners that can brag about that. I'm telling you, Zero Res Denver is incredible. What you do is you get a clean carpet, a truly clean, zero resified carpet, because they don't lay down any chemicals or soaps or emulsifiers. They use only purified, softened water, and that's all they use. It takes out all the scum from the previous cleanings and leaves nothing behind except clean carpet fibers. It's safe for you, safe for your kids, and safe for your home. And I'll tell you what, even the indoor air quality of your home improves. That's zeroresdenver.com. And they also do any flat surface in your home, tile and grout. They can do laminates, hardwoods, and upholstery, mattresses. 303-471-5150. Call them today, 303-471-5150, zeroresdenver.com. How much time do I have?
2.
Oh, only 2.
Is
Okay.
Joel supposed to be here right at 2?
Yep. Yeah. Night people.
Oh, nice.
Did you notice it was
he was
dropped
obsessed
off?
with that song.
Oh my God!
But don't bring it down here. Just leave it up.
They had a good video.
What's the name of that? Oh, like, let me get my Shazam out. Oh, then we heard that song a lot.
Oh yeah, he was great at writing, just great at it.
That's funny you liked him that much. I didn't. A lot of people never even heard of him.
Dio?
Mm-hmm.
I am a huge Dio fan.
There was someone else we ran into that's a big Dio fan. Maybe it was the Texas guy.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it was him. He was maybe saying it, or maybe it was Dave Richards. Somebody was talking about him on that trip.
Killing the Dragon. Sacred Heart.
We saw he was here with Heaven and Hell, which was Black Sabbath, but they couldn't use the Black Sabbath name. We saw them at Fiddler's.
Was it good?
Yeah, I think it was the last time he ever came to Colorado. But man, it's just voice.
I read he died of stomach cancer.
Who
in,
did?
2010 or something.
Pretty nasty.
Ronnie
Yeah.
James Dio, I think, is the gentleman's name. He's a musician.
Yeah.
For Black Sabbath, or was he the lead singer? I don't know. I was
the second singer of Black Sabbath. Yeah.
Was Ozzy the first or the third? Okay,
Sure.
Ozzy was the first, then
I
Dio.
didn't know
That's
there
the
was
history.
Oh, that's
just-
a wonderful thing. Now I remember. I thought it was
11.
That many?
Yeah, it's crazy, and the 11 is because Rob Halford sang for
Thank
3
you.
shows once, and my buddy saw
One of
Black
them.
Sabbath with Rob Halford at Red Rocks, which is just
Was he just filling in, or he was a real temp? I mean, there was no one there but him.
Yes, Tim, that's who we're talking about.
I think somebody was like sick or something. I don't remember the story, but yeah, it's crazy how many singers they actually had.
You know, Ozzy created quite the deal, man. He was really good at what he did.
Oh yeah.
I'll take
630 KHAL, an iHeart radio station.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Deputy Bo has a comment on that watch call we had. Go ahead, Bo. What do you have to say about the watch, the heirloom watch?
Yeah, I think Mark was really trying to help the guy out, and just, let's face it, Art's just kind of a paranoid guy. But I do have a solution for him. I'm a member of the National Watch and Clock Collectors Association.
What?
They have yes. And they have a Rocky Mountain division that meets 6 times a year over at a church in the Bonnie Bray neighborhood. If Art wants to call back into the show, I could get him into one of these meetings, and they're high-end individuals, they're lawyers, doctors, business people, and they just have a genuine interest in watches and clocks, and they could give him an evaluation at no charge without shipping things in a box and seeing other people that he's not sure of, and he can bring the watch directly to the meeting, but I'd have to be there to give him an in-guest introduction.
So, Bo, explain
That's
this
awesome.
explain this organization to me.
So they've been around about 100 years. It's called the National Association of Watch and Clock Collectors. They're based out of Pennsylvania. Yeah, and they advance the trade of horological, if I can say it right, horological activities, but mostly they're just high-end collectors of watches and clocks. And I believe the person that Mark mentioned up in Evergreen, I believe he's a member of this club. So this would be great for Art. He can just come up from Boulder, come to Denver. There's about 25 to 30 guys who could do a little show and tell, and they give him an honest evaluation.
Okay.
And maybe they'd make him an offer.
What do you guys, may I ask what you discuss at your meetings?
We discuss clocks that were maybe recently found and talk about how to repair. They talk about evaluation. And then some guys will come in about a clock they've taken apart and how to reassemble it.
What got you into it?
You know, I've been interested in clocks since I was a kid. I took a class at the old Opportunity School on watchmaking, and I just have an interest in not the new quartz movement, but the old mechanical movement. Now, Let me tell you this. What's interesting about this Audemars Piguet watch that Art has, I don't understand. Those watches go from $150 to $1.5 million. And you know what's interesting? They're just a quartz movement. A quartz movement's only about a $50 to $80 movement. But I believe Art's is a mechanical movement, which I believe is worth a lot more than what he said, $40,000. So yeah, and I have a couple of grandfather clocks in my house, and it's a lost art.
What is
that? A lost trade. There's really no tradesman that works on these old clocks anymore. So this organization tries to perpetuate the trade of old time clocks with pendulums and weight.
And is it mainly clocks or watches too?
It's both. Mostly clocks, because clocks are a little more interesting than watches. You can take them apart, but they do watches, but old watches, the old mechanical weight, you have the wrist watches. They don't do any of the quartz or battery operated type watches.
They only do valuable stuff.
You can look them up. Yeah, I mean, an inexpensive. Yeah, probably like starting at about $3,000 or $4,000 all the way up. And you can look them up. It's called the National Association of Watch and Clock Collectors. And you have to get sponsored to get into the membership. Someone has to refer you. So you have to have a genuine interest before they'll consider you for membership. But this would be a great avenue for Art to bring his watch in the Denver area.
It is amazing to me that you can find organizations for everything. My goodness.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me.
So if he wants to call into the show, leave his number, I'll give him the particulars, and that would be the best avenue for him to get his Audemars Piguet watch appraised.
That's a great idea. Man, I would imagine though, I'm just going out on a limb here. This wouldn't be first date material if you wanted an exciting night out.
Ha ha. Well, how many men compared to women, Bo? I'm curious.
There's probably one lady that attends.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
and let
probably,
me just say this.
That's probably to serve the donuts.
Yes, and make the heat. No. You know, the Troubleshooter Show did Art a great service last week when Marc Mager mentioned that he shouldn't just put the watch in a box and ship it to some unknown wherever he was going to ship it to. The show stopped him from doing that. I mean, he's a paranoid guy, but I think the show saved him from making a big mistake.
Oh yeah,
like
he would have lost that for good. Absolutely. Thank you very much, man. We appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you, Deputy Bo. That really is a good resource. Hey, Sam.
Take a break when you can, buddy.
Sam, what's going on with the scam? I'll take a break. I just want to find out what it's about. What is it about, Sam?
Yeah, it was about Larry King. You remember him back in the day?
Yeah.
You mean the talk show host?
He's haunting. No. Larry King, the thief. The mortgage guy that you did back in the day.
Larry King.
2006, 2007.
Okay.
Yeah, he had that brokerage firm in Boulder and was doing some shady stuff.
Okay,
Anyways,
hold
he did
on,
some
and
shady
we'll
stuff with
explore
me,
this.
and now it's-
Just hold on and we'll explore this, okay? 303-713-TALK. Frank Duran, the real estate man, a market valuation of your home for the asking. He'll tell you what it will sell for on the open market. Give him a call. No obligation ever. 303-920-1622.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Michael Brown tomorrow morning at 6:30 KHOW Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Batteries Plus.
Some normal slowdowns throughout the Denver Metro for your early afternoon commute. 6th Avenue eastbound, some stop-and-go traffic on the off-ramp to I-25 southbound with slow driving back from Federal, only adding about 2 or 3 minutes to your commute. Just north of there, I-25 southbound, slower speeds approaching Spear Boulevard. And further northeast through Commerce City, I-270 westbound, some slow driving between Northfield and Vasquez. With traffic, I'm Mark Swan.
Remember when you had a guy, someone who could fix anything? They're still out there at Batteries Plus. With their quick solutions and expert advice on batteries, key fobs, and phone repair, Batteries Plus will have you in and out and on your way in no time. Batteries Plus, the experts in charge.
You can get a price right now for your countertops, whether it's in the bathroom, the kitchen, or a book nook, or wherever you want, granite or marble or quartzite, any natural stone, or even man-made materials. He'll give you a price on the phone. theartofgranite.com, where tear out and haul away is always free of charge. Wholesale on all countertop materials. And of course, he has special incentives like an extra backsplash or edge treatment or having the bathroom done free when you do the kitchen. Call for your price and your incentive and find out what the Art of Granite can do for you. theartofgranite.com, 303-386-5919. We talk a lot about investment on this show, and one of the things I emphasize is before you go down any road for investing, you need to get rid of high interest debt, usually from credit cards, or you have a loan somewhere that you took out. It's time to retire that high interest debt with a smart equity loan from American Financing. They've partnered with me specifically to give people a way out. So you get that high interest debt, consolidate it, and get way, way, way lower rates, 5 or 6%, in a smart equity loan. And then what you do is you pay off that sooner if you want, or at least you have breathing room. It gives you the road to financial freedom. Get rid of high interest debt. You may want a complete refi to pull money out when you need it. AmericanFinancing.net, 303-695-7000, 695-7000.
16, I didn't even really like him at the time. And then I saw them at Monsters of Rock, the whole Van Halen.
That was one of our deputies. His name is Bo. He will be...
I'd like to see Ozzy. Is he still touring?
That dude's barely walking, I think, isn't he?
They're doing one final Black Sabbath show in Birmingham, England.
Oh, really?
So that's one of our deputies. He
Is Black Sabbath your favorite band?
I mean, they're up
like
there.
I said, Art.
You know,
here tomorrow.
I don't know.
Were you a Zeppelin guy?
You can talk to him.
I don't understand. I mean, we know some people that are just Dave Richards and Mark, whatever his name is.
Obsessed.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
The one guy, he named his company Zeppelin Heating, Cooling, and Air Conditioning.
I never quite got, I don't know, but I'm not a 70s
I like
rock
the one
girl.
song, like Everybody does.
Yeah, of course. Did they do Stairway to Heaven? Yeah.
I think they play the same 3 songs, and that's all they've played for.
Led Zeppelin's a great group.
Yeah, we're talking about different. I would have loved to see Bob Dylan back in his day. I don't know if I'll see him now, but
I don't know if I dig after
back in his day.
Well, it sounds like Bo could definitely.
Mark, do you recall this guy in Boulder, Larry King?
I have no idea who that
That was
guy's
07 or
talking.
08.
What?
I have no idea though. Man, never heard of him.
He would have to
Did he go to jail?
That's what he said for you to call back. So he's here tomorrow. And
I'm looking him up again.
All I find is talk shows.
Okay, here it is. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison.
Right. And fraud, right.
For swindling naive home buyers out of tens of thousands of dollars, causing them to incur debt. He was arrested January 2010.
Boulder Title Company.
Boulder, yeah.
Okay, Art,
Big Rock
you're
Title,
getting
yeah.
down a rabbit
That
hole
doesn't
right
ring a
now.
bell for you, Tom?
And we've
Was
got
that in
some other
2010?
callers, so if you want to call back
Yeah.
tomorrow, Deputy Bo can help you out.
He made it sound like maybe you went after him. Maybe you're the one that exposed this guy, but I think you would remember that.
I remember all kinds of stuff, but that name, I would remember that name because of Larry King, the talk show host. So that's what.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's weird.
Art.
Just tell
we
Art.
already discussed this. Yeah. If you remember.
I don't want him back on the air again.
Who's Art?
That fucking guy, he just won't stop with his fucking insurance thing.
What does he want
Kelly's
now?
trying to give him Bo's information, and he wants to know if he's got fucking insurance or whatever.
The watch
guy.
Why does Bo need insurance?
Doc, who the fuck knows?
I mean, he's taking him to this place, and he's carrying the watch.
Okay, Art. Thanks for calling. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay. Okay.
Kelly, do not put him on with me on.
I mean, actually, I can.
That fucking guy.
.com. Need a new roof? Call Excel Roofing 303-761-6400.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Dan McKenzie is an estate planning attorney, and what you do is call him, and he can do estate plans, simple wills to complicated trusts, and everything in between. He's a great guy, small enough to give you personalized attention, but he knows his way around all of the plans you might need. 833-CO-PLANS, 833-CO-PLANS, McKenzie Law. All right. Sam brought up a guy that years ago I went after, Larry King, with mortgage fraud. He was convicted in 2010. And so what's going on now, Sam?
Well, he's coming back to haunt me. I I wanted to get a second mortgage, and my credit is good. It's just that he's actually showing up on my title.
Okay,
with the lien.
let me find out. Sam, did you go to Larry King back in the day?
No, I didn't. I met him. I always hustle on the side. I was bringing trees in and selling trees, to get through the slow times. And I sold him trees, and then that's how I met him.
Okay, so tell me how he showed up.
For one of
Hold
his
on,
properties out in Berthoud.
Sam. You sold trees to him.
Correct.
And how did he show up on your title?
Yeah, we became friends. He made friends with me, and basically, I was going through some rough times, and he knew that, and so he offered to loan me some money, and I paid him back, but everything was kind of like verbiage-wise,
How much money did he loan
and then
you?
when he went to jail, $10,000.
And how long ago did he loan you the money?
Back right when you started reporting on him, it was before that, and then I'm like, oh, what did I get myself into? And then he told me that everything was fine and he took care of everything. So I left it at that, and I'm just
Did
finding
you ever
out
pay back?
just
Did
here
you ever
lately
pay
that-
back the 10 grand?
Yes, I did indirectly. I went ahead and I did windows for him. I cleaned out his shop for him, and then I stored some vehicles for him. In fact,
Okay,
he never
Sam.
ever contacted me
Sam.
after he's went to jail.
So there's a deed of trust on your home for 10 grand.
Correct.
And he is the one who is payable to his benefit.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I just pulled the paperwork today. I went down to the.
Okay. Now, what are the terms and conditions of that deed of trust? Does it say? Did he file a promissory note
I
with
haven't
it?
even really read it yet. Let's see here.
Did he file a promissory note along with it, or did he file just a deed of trust?
I don't see a promissory note.
What is the amount today?
Actually, in reality, he wanted my house.
It doesn't matter what he wanted. You let this go way too far. He conned you into a loan way back then. He took a second on your house. And what about your first? How much do you owe on your first?
200, a little over 200,000.
Okay. And you have a second on your house. Did you ever sign anything when he gave you that 10 grand?
I went.
Yes.
I guess I did. There's a signature on the bottom of this page here.
Okay. Well, here's the unfortunate part. Unless you have proof that you paid that, he's going to be able to collect it.
Hey, I got a suggestion. Sam. Hey,
Yes,
Sam.
sir.
Hey, it looks like back in 2011, Mr. King was sentenced to 5 years in prison, followed by 8 years of mandatory parole. It could be that he's still on parole.
Right.
So what do you think of you contacting his parole officer and discussing this issue with that person? Because this really seems to be kind of a leftover from fraudulent activity back way back in 2011. So the parole officer might be able to
Right. He talked me into.
So the parole officer might be able to help you get this, whatever it is. Is it a lien or is it a?
It's a second deed of trust.
It's a second deed of trust.
It's a mortgage.
He might convince Mr. King to release you from whatever that obligation is.
Will Mr. King say, Larry King, will he say that you paid him back?
Oh, I don't think Sam even knows that.
He should. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, he should. I mean, like I said, he befriended me, So, you can look somebody in the eye and they're thinking something else. I don't know. I mean, I know I'm a man of my word.
Here's the bad news, Sam. In real estate, there's no looking someone in the eye. The only thing that counts in real estate is what's written. So any verbal agreements you had outside of that mean nothing. So if you have a $10,000 second deed of trust on your home, you got to pay it off. Or you have to have it removed. And the only way to have it removed at this time is with his cooperation.
And the parole officer might be able to help get his cooperation.
See, I think, Sam, what happened was
I don't even.
You never paid him back. And now it's coming back to haunt you. And maybe you thought when he went to jail, you were going to get away with it. And even though you say you gave him certain things in payment, I'm not sure if he would look at it that way.
Yeah, I did windows for him on a historic house in Wheat Ridge.
Did you
where
supply?
they had to have a
Hold
certain
on.
window in there.
Did you supply the windows?
Yes, I did it and all that, and we're supposed to have washed all the money, but I didn't know that he did all this.
That he did all what?
The fraud?
That filed a lien on my house and did all that. He didn't.
Well, somewhere.
Didn't tell me,
Okay,
so,
somewhere in all those mortgage payments.
I would have taken care of it a long time ago.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
Somewhere in all of that paperwork, in order to have a lien like that, he's going to have notarized statements. Somebody notarized your signature. Somebody said you took out that loan, more than just him. So you're going to have to deal with this. And I suggest you go to a real estate attorney. I really mean it, because you're not going to be able to do this on your own. And it's not something we can do for you. It's way more complicated than you think.
Is that something Brad O'Brien can?
Yeah, here's the problem. Brad O'Brien can do it. You may spend 10 grand getting it removed.
Jeez.
It's not going to be cheap, Sam. If Larry King protests, right now, if I were you, I would figure out where Larry King is and ask him if he would remove it from your house voluntarily, or you're going to the authorities. That's what I would do.
Right. So
Where is
he
these days? Do you know?
I don't know where he's at. I don't have no idea. I Googled the crime, and his lawyer came up on the paragraph when they were talking about him. I guess maybe I could go to his lawyer and find out. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck a little bit.
Well, you got to start with his attorney and find out where he is. Say, look, Larry King has a deed of trust on my home that doesn't belong there. I need to get a hold of him to see if he'll remove it. This guy shouldn't have any problem sharing with you where he is.
Oh, of course he would. I mean, he's not going to give anybody his client's address or any information.
No, but in general, or contacting him for him.
Tom, what do you think about Sam going over to Boulder County Court and finding out who Mr. King's parole officer is?
That's another
Rick,
issue, but
chance, buddy.
If he wasn't convicted of this crime, it's not part of the case. He can hope that the parole officer might put pressure on King.
Yeah,
but that's a long shot. Again, I would go to Brad O'Brien. I got to take a break. Listen, there's not much we can do for you. I think there's more to this than meets the eye. I think you got a 10 grand loan and you thought you got out of it when he went to jail. I really do. That's my gut telling me. And I think that you probably you benefited from the 10 grand years ago, and now it's time to pay up. We got more coming up. That's what happened in this.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Colorado Department of Transportation.
Some normal slowdowns throughout the Denver Metro for your early afternoon commute. 6th Avenue eastbound, some stop-and-go traffic on the off-ramp to I-25 southbound, with slow driving back from Federal, only adding about 2 or 3 minutes to your commute. Just north of there, I-25 southbound, slower speeds approaching Spear Boulevard. And further northeast through Commerce City, I-270 westbound, some slow driving between Northfield and Vasquez. With traffic, I'm Mark Swan.
Wearing a seatbelt reduces your risk of serious injury by 50%. Each year, 15,000 lives are saved by seatbelts. They are also your best defense against drunk or distracted drivers on our roads. Nobody is above the laws of physics. Buckle up and shift into safe. A message from CDOT.
Speaking of buckling up, if you're injured in a car accident and it's someone else's fault, you need to call for information. John Fuller is the only personal injury attorney I know that will talk to you up front without any obligation to hire him whatsoever. All you have to do is give him a call. That's right. Right off the bat, say, I want to talk to John Fuller, and ask him questions about your case, what he thinks it's worth, what to do next, what your next move should be. He'll never charge you for that. And if you hire him, it'll be on a percentage fee basis. So for information with personal injury, 303-597-4500, 597-4500. If you're looking for painting, K&H Painting Pros are there for you. That's right. K&H now has a solution for you when it comes for painting. They have, of course, everything you need for the outside of your home, now including painting. KHWindows.com is the website. The number 303-421-7100. 303-421-7100. That's K&H Home Solutions. Discount Bath. they're doing bathrooms at a discount, and they mean it. They want you to put them to the test. Take your smartphone, walk around your bathroom and tell them what changes you want to make. Upload the video at discountbath.com. Go there, fill out some information. They'll give you the upload link, and then you can find out what they can do for you. Beautiful, luxurious bathrooms, or maybe something more modest for a fix and flip. Whatever the level of trim you want, you will get a discount, hence the name discountbath.com. Good people that you can trust. 720-979-2322. 720-979-2322. Discountbath.com.
I'm sending an email to his attorney.
Okay.
Just asking for a comment and whether or not he knows Mr. King's whereabouts.
Do we have time coming back, or are we cooked?
30 seconds. It's all you got.
What is it?
30 seconds.
All right. Thomas?
Yeah.
You got 30 seconds coming back later, Gator.
See ya. I'll finish with Nick Gravina. Nick's still there, right?
When do you flying out, Mark?
Yeah, I think he's packing up with everybody else.
Friday.
You going to be here for the show, or?
No, I won't. Suzanne will be here, though. I think we got both car guys, right?
Yep.
They're all abandoning me.
See you guys, safe travels. They
Jesus.
sure are.
Hasta la vista.
I'll stay.
Make sure she emails you that one. Or that one.
I already did. I've already emailed Jason about it, too. Yeah, I'm going to get the golf.
Drew will stay, too.
Yeah, I can't go number 2 anymore.
How long is Mark going to be gone for? Just the weekend?
Yep, that's right. Just the weekend.
You going to behave yourself while he's gone?
Yeah.
So when you left yesterday, Princess came down here, slept all day next to me, and whenever I'd get up for the bathroom or coffee, she would follow me, and then she would follow me back.
She's so cute. She's a very special little kitty.
I saw her new pink cat.
Have a good evening, boys and girls. We'll see you tomorrow.
You can't get her to use them.
She likes the couch.
How long is Brown on vacay for? A week? Just this whole week? So I assume you have the Ryan, but not dealing with Ryan, because I noticed none of the computers are signed in, which is cool. It's cool. I just like, look.
Where'd you put the food on the
cabinet
counter?
was locked. I heard it.
Along with a note.
And wash out the white noise of the mainstream media. The only missing ingredient is you. Join me each day of the work week starting at 2 here on 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. Listen, call 303-MARTINO to get in on the next show. And our guest today was Gravina, gravinas.com or 303-GRAVINA. 303-GRAVINA. Don't forget, 303-MARTINO, save all your problems for me. See you guys.
Clear, buddy.
Thank you.